So I'm outside Brisbane Road and it's match week 5 in the WSL. It's Tottenham Hotspur taking on the Seagulls. And this is a highly anticipated clash between two teams who've been doing superbly well so far this season. New Tottenham manager Martin Ho has impressed so far with 3 wins and a loss from his opening fixtures. The Brisbane Road match against Manchester City is the only blot to their season so far, a 5-1 loss they suffered to the Sky Blues. However, apart from that, Tottenham have been very impressive this season. Their counter-pressing and pressing has been superb. A new signing, Cathinka Tandberg from Hoffenheim, has been a great addition to the side. She scored 2 goals and got an assist already and been nominated for Player of the Month, which is incredible for her, only 21 years old. Another player to watch out for is Olivia Holt, a really superb forward for Tottenham, who's also got 2 goals to her name, so watch out for those two. Quite pacey as well, I believe. But for Brighton, they've obviously got their own threats too. Rosa Kafaji, Michelle Adjuman and Kiko Seke lead the line. Those 3 are looking to excel once more. Kafaji, a great new addition as an Arsenal loanee to this Brighton side. So a big game for all those involved. Tottenham currently sit 4th, Brighton in 6th. Only 2 points separate them, and this game could be massive. Tottenham could leapfrog Arsenal after their 3-2 loss to Manchester City yesterday. So these sides flying high so far. An interesting thing to note though for Brighton is it seems they have 3 fullbacks on the pitch. Perhaps Charlize Rule or Rachel McLaughlin will come into the midfield, because right now we can see on the team sheet there is Charlize Rule, Rachel McLaughlin and also Marissa Ollis-Lagers. That means Fran Kirby is being dropped from the midfield, I imagine, for Nadine Nordum, who has come in to the side. I think Fran Kirby is obviously an incredible creative outlet for the Seagulls, so I'm shocked she isn't starting. Not on the bench either, so must be an injury to her. Aside from that though, Nadine Nordum will be looking to have a good game, and Moeka Minami has started superbly since she's joined the side, but unfortunately she is missing out today for, as I said, Rachel McLaughlin, who is back from injury. So that is your Seagulls lineup for Tottenham. As I said, 2 players really to watch out for, but these sides have impressed so far. Martin Ho has said that it needs to be careful when they have the ball. I think Lise Kopp, their goalkeeper, could be slightly liable to giving away the ball. She looked quite nervy under pressure against Manchester City. But for Brighton, they'll also need to keep the ball well. Dario said the exact same thing about Spurs. The way that they press, Brighton will need to be very careful. So I'm expecting maybe goals, especially if there are mistakes out the back. And for this one, my prediction, I follow Brighton, as you may have seen from my previous Matchday vlogs. So it's difficult for me to go against the Seagulls, especially with their run of form under Dario. Some part of me is saying 2-1 to Tottenham, the other part is saying 2-1 to Brighton. We're going to go 2-1 to Brighton. Hopefully the Seagulls can get another victory here. Their 3rd in a row, that would be, which would match their record which they had in October 2021. So it's rare for the Seagulls to win 3 league matches in a row, but they could do so obviously coming off the back of a 1-0 victory over Everton. Tottenham coming off the back of an away victory to Leicester 2-1.
Sure that we're going with the ball. We was in the first half, second half we defended really well. I thought we nullified them to really small opportunities. I think they had 2 shots on target, if I'm right, and we've kind of limited them to half chances, and with some big moments for the centre backs in the back line with the blocks they were making and getting in front of the ball. So yeah, really impressive.
With Tottenham's pressing, that seemed to cause you quite a lot of problems in the first half. Was that something you kind of anticipated? Because I believe you mentioned it before the match, and then maybe at times.
Yeah, no, we did anticipate. I just thought, we just had decision making. I think we wanted to play into Mish and her to hold it up, so we just weren't able to do that. So I think we just lacked a little bit, even in the duels. We were second best in the pressing. We were also just a little bit off. So it felt a little bit off, and even at times when we did do really well, we'd sort of get into the final third, no pressure, and then we'd make a mistake and lose the ball. So we never really got able to get rhythm, got able to pin them in to play the game a little bit on our terms, and then we managed to do that better in the second half, where we controlled it a lot more. I think we limited them to just a couple opportunities right at the end, maybe when we were getting a little bit more desperate to try to find the equaliser. But yeah, all in all, good second half, but we know we need to be more complete for the full 90.
Just lastly, on the absence of Fran Kirby, do you think that potentially played a part in this? Obviously she's a massive attacking outlet, and I guess you'll be hoping she's back next weekend against Arsenal.
Yeah, look, I think she would be. She's a big out. Moeka's also a big out, who's played for us the whole season. We had then Marit step in the day before she got injured as well, so then we had to change the starting 11 again after training. So it's been one of those weeks, unfortunately. But the good thing is, I think with Moeka, obviously with Fran with a sickness, she should be okay for hopefully Wednesday. And now we just got our fingers crossed that Marit will also have a positive scan and not be out for 2
So it's full time here at Brisbane Road and Tottenham have secured a 1-0 victory over the Seagulls. Dario Vidošić Brighton, I think, will be very disappointed with that performance and not just the result. Brighton didn't really offer much in that first half, and it was Cathinka Tandberg who gave Tottenham the lead. It was a great ball from Jessica Naz, who looked lively throughout that first half. She's a brilliant winger who is potentially knocking on the door of England with her performances. But yeah, she played a ball across to Cathinka Tandberg after beating Maisie Simons, the midfielder, not really keeping up pace with the winger. And the ball, as I said, found Cathinka Tandberg perfectly, and she played it across Chiamaka Nnadozie, who I thought had a really good game for Brighton, made several key saves in the second half to keep them in the tie. Brighton growing into it in that second half, but just not finding that end product. Kiko Seke, Rosa Kafaji, the two lively players in that second half for Brighton. I singled them out before, and I'll say it again, I think they're great when they have the ball and when they can basically go at the defence, which is what Kafaji did a lot in that second half, driving at them. But yeah, as I said, that first half was really underwhelming for the Albion. Michelle Adjeman, obviously a great striker for them, got her goal last weekend. She didn't have any chances really in that first half, bar a corner which she chested the ball and then looked to volley it toward goal, but before she could, she was shoved over. I think Dario Vidošić was very aggrieved with some of the decisions made by referee Ryan Atkin. Should have been a penalty for that. There were also several calls, especially in the 5th minute when Jelena Cankovic looked to get onto the ball, but Toko Koga, the defender, had seemed to basically cover the ball over after she'd slipped to stop them getting in on goal. Terrible from her, and I personally think could have been a red card or at least a yellow and a penalty, but nothing being given there by Ryan Atkin. So those are two opportunities that should have maybe been. But also Kiko Seke in the second half, I said she was lively. She got into the box, and unfortunately she was taken down by Amanda Nilden, the fullback. But again, nothing given. Her foot was taken beneath her, and the referee has potentially really done Brighton an injustice here because they did have multiple opportunities, but they just couldn't find the back of the net. Tottenham defending resiliently in that second half, after being so great with their pressing in the first. I think that really caught Brighton off guard. Chiamaka Nnadozie, for all of her saves, looked a bit uncomfortable with the ball at her feet. Even a rash decision from Caitlin Hayes to basically shove a player over in a wrestling type move. She was booked for that. So Brighton at times really struggling in that first half, their back line being tested, and I'm sure they will be tested once again against Arsenal, so that's their next game. One to watch out for. Obviously Arsenal not in the best of form, I think picking up a small amount of points from their last few games. Obviously they've lost to Manchester City, they've drawn with Aston Villa, so it's a big one for both of these sides. But with Brighton's away form, I am worried for them potentially. If they're without Fran Kirby, they'll be wanting their midfielder back sooner rather than later. But full time here at Brisbane Road, 1-0. Tottenham will be very pleased with this result. And yeah, Martin Ho's side march on. They're now in 3rd above Arsenal and level on points with Manchester City, their goal difference superior.